The hatred directed against the Las Vegas Grand Prix appears to have no intention of abating anytime soon. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton discussed the opening ceremony in great detail. Hamilton went on to compare the track to one of the most illustrious venues on the calendar, despite the fact that the three-time world champion was undoubtedly not pleased with the entire circus. Everyone is now really debating whether or not to make the investment in Vegas after hearing what he said. Are the drivers being a little too harsh on Las Vegas considering all the collateral damage that the city has caused, like labor protests and extreme heat on the track? The Formula One spectacle has finally made its way to Vegas, and it appears that all the excitement of the season will culminate in the race, which will take place beneath the breathtaking lights of the street circuit in the Nevada desert. The drivers will face their most unusual task yet in the frigid temperatures overnight. Getting their tires properly warmed up, running a strong race without spinning out, experiencing front lockups or colliding with one another as a result of the reduced grip caused by these conditions. However, a large number of the drivers believe that they shouldn't have been placed in this situation in the first place. And who better to express his disapproval of everything that's happening in Vegas at the moment than Max Verstappen? The three-time world champion made it plain why he dislikes competing on street circuits. But he also expressed his opinion that the fact that this race is really happening because of the sport's increased popularity in the USA is wrong in his opinion. Every fan wants to see the sport grow in the United States, but the conditions that Vegas has provided raise serious concerns about whether the sport prioritizes its drivers or the whole spectacle that Vegas has to offer beneath the city lights and all of the casinos surrounding the track. First off, when it comes to the inaugural ceremony of the first race held in the Sin City since 1982, Vegas did not let us down. All 20 drivers participated in the spectacular, which featured a star-studded roster of musical performances and was showcased to the public on Main Street amid an amazing light display that evoked memories of the cult classic The Hunger Games. But did it impress every driver? Max Verstappen claimed that he was only an additional element to the circus theme, that it made him feel like a clown performing for the thousands of spectators in Las Vegas. To be fair to Formula One, I respect his viewpoint, of course. He's always been quite passionate and honest, but it's hard not to question if his remarks are a direct jab at all of the fans who have been paying a lot of money to see their idols that they've been following on little TV screens in their homes. Still, Verstappen had a strong view. He said, "For me, you can skip all those kinds of things," while discussing this. All you're doing is standing there and looking ridiculous. Not so much for racing, but I do enjoy being in Vegas. It's not my decision, I suppose, because they will continue to profit whether I like it or not. Furthermore, I won't pretend. I'll always express my views on both good and bad things. That's simply my personality. However, several of the drivers don't think the Vegas Grand Prix will be similar to some of the most storied venues on the schedule, including Silverstone. Lewis Hamilton is unwilling to part with his all-time favorite song in exchange for the glitz and glitter that Vegas is serving. That doesn't mean, though, that he won't take advantage of everything that the circuit has to offer. Hamilton continued to elaborate, saying, "It's a massive spectacle for sure, and it'll never be like Silverstone. However, perhaps in due course, the people in this town will develop a passion for the sport in the same way that we have had the honor of growing up and experiencing. The track can turn out well or not. The sim version was mediocre. It's not Silverstone at all. However, I believe you should give it a try before passing judgment." Furthermore, Lewis Hamilton discussed a crucial element that is now receiving a lot of attention in the media: employees' happiness. The seven-time world champion has placed a lot of stress on the idea that the employees of the Formula One circus should never be overlooked, and they should always be given priority, primarily because they are the guests, not the residents who are there. The employees currently feel differently. With all the buildings, the city is in ruins. If we want to prevent all the hostility surrounding this race, the firms that are generating millions of dollars in 3 days while receiving the same payment cannot continue in their one-decade agreement with Formula One. Undoubtedly, the last few months have seen a bad start to everything in Vegas, particularly since the construction has caused traffic, which is usually hectic around the Strip and the entire city. In addition, because they'll have to put a lot more overtime to accommodate the large number of visitors to Vegas, the local workforce has begun to protest campaign demanding a rise in pay. One that is not as large as the first projected because hotel rates have plummeted by up to 83% and tickets have been reduced by 50%. The arrangement of the track appears to be the most important problem to solve. There's going to be 2 DRS zones to increase the passing opportunities and keep the show on track, along with a total of 17 corners and 3 straights, one of which will be 1.9 kilometers long, the second longest on the schedule after Baku. But would it really be that much of a chance to overtake here? We might as well be robbed of efficient racing because the drivers have to be alert for possible collisions and near calls owing to the track temperatures, the difficulties of properly warming up your tires, and the low downforce configurations that only makes matters worse. Verstappen has gone into further detail on this. He said 99% and 1% sporting event in reference to the track's configuration. To be honest, my feelings aren't that strong. All I want to think about is the performance aspect of things. Nothing in the world appeals to me. Although I'm aware of their involvement, I have no interest in it. I just want to do my best, and the track isn't that intriguing. It's not exactly my thing, but there's no issue. A few corners are present. The degree of grippiness will determine how it behaves. It appears like there's not much grip. What can we anticipate from the inaugural race in Las Vegas then? Well, there's undoubtedly going to be a lot of slick conditions during the first practice session, mostly because the tarmac is brand new and hasn't had any rubber from previous race put on it before Formula One travels there. In addition, the drivers will naturally need to do a few warm-up laps due to the cold before pushing it all the way to a quick qualifying lap. Furthermore, because the tires are not just functioning here, even if they manage to build up any significant temperature in the tires in a few available turns, that gain will be lost on the main straight. However, without even giving the event a go, the whole media and F1 drivers have painted the race in a bad light. Because of this, a few of them have made an effort to be a little more sensible and put the rest of the Formula One world before the largest and most glitzy sport on the planet. Lewis Hamilton commented, "I hear a lot of people complaining about the direction that Stefano Domenicali and Liberty have gone, but they're doing an amazing job in reference to this. The sport is still expanding, its business and the racing is terrific here. It's a nation that may be effectively utilized to fascinate viewers. In the US, there had to be a minimum of 2 races. This is one of the most famous and distinctive cities they have here, so one wasn't enough." According to Alex Albon, the track's simplicity will actually enhance the racing experience rather than detract from it in the slightest. He believes that the automobile will be far more suitable for low downforce requirement than we initially thought. As previously said, the drivers may perceive the challenging circumstances as a clear chance to attempt to obtain an advantage, and Mercedes driver George Russell shares this opinion. "Coming here has been pretty brutal change for everybody," he remarked. "And since most people seem worn out, struggling, and complaining about it, I kind of view it as an opportunity. However, you gain that edge if you do better than your rivals." That's it, guys. What are your opinions? Share it in the comments below and subscribe to our channel for more information.